with that, it's time for us to move into something interesting. We are going to show you a clip of something really interesting. Have a look at this clip, and when we come back, we'll give you something even more interesting on the story itself. Have a look at this one.
This is Charith Madawela from Transform 180.
One shot, everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it.
It's time for us to introduce Charith Madawela to all of you. He's down from Seattle, USA. Very good morning to you, Charith.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So very much. It's a pleasure having you, Charith. And very honest, he's an engineer by profession, and from that field to this, it's a major difference. So we'll probably start with the childhood and how you got up here.
Well, since I was a kid, I've always enjoyed assembling circuits, electronic circuits, and reading blueprints, playing around with, experiment with electronic equipment. But I've always had this huge passion for fitness and sports, and I was being involved in sports events. But when it was time for me to decide what I wanted to do for my higher studies and choose a career, I've decided to go with engineering, which I ended up, after I graduated, I worked as an electrical engineer for a couple of leading aircraft companies for about 6 years in the States. And during this whole time, I would always, research about fitness-related stuff, watch videos, always reading and learning about that stuff during working hours, even sometimes. And I'd be sharing my knowledge with friends and family. And I realized I really enjoy being able to help people and working with people, and it just occurred to me that this is my passion, this is what I wanted to do. And about a year ago, I decided to just pull the plug and quit my engineering job and actually started my own fitness business, and I've been doing that since.
So you quit a corporate job and you took the major risk of launching your own business as a personal trainer into fitness.
Yeah.
How was that transition for you? What were the implications, and how do you think it?
It feels like I've actually been added value to someone's day. That is a great feeling. I think it all comes down to that. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how many lives you've touched and how many people that you're being able to help. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
So in the end, you followed your passion rather than just doing a 9-to-5 job, just
the
usual thing.
I mean, honestly, so I'm actually putting way more hours than I used to. But it doesn't feel like work anymore because this is something I love, this I enjoy. I constantly read about this stuff. Some people, I even tell my friends, don't get me started on fitness because I can keep talking forever. And so I work way many more hours than I used to, but it doesn't feel like work. It's something I love, I enjoy doing. My business, it's called Transform 180 Training. Whether you want to go from fat to thin or fit to strong, it's a whole transformation, right? And a lot of people think, that if you look at a magazine, there's like 6-week abs or get in shape in 2 weeks. You do this, like a lot of crash diets. It's a lot of there's a lot of deceiving information out there, and the people that write this stuff, they probably haven't even been to a gym. A lot of people they just put this information so they can sell their product faster. It's actually it's much difficult than that. If it was that easy, everybody will be in shape. It takes a tremendous amount of discipline, determination, sacrifice, staying on course. But, I wasn't always in great shape. I had to go through my transformation too, and there's a lot of things that I did wrong. When it comes to exercise, you can do this exercise to get this, right? But what you put in your body, this is where nutrition comes into the equation. It's very different for each person. It depends on your lifestyle, your family background, your genetics, your health history. As the new year rolls in, a lot of people make this goal to, okay, this year I'm going to get in shape, right? But come 3 weeks, first 3 weeks, they just give up mainly because they start off with a bad plan of attack. They don't know what they're doing. They just go to the gym, throw around some weights, but they don't know why they're doing what they're doing. Number 2 is they lose the motivation because they think, okay, just by going to the gym for a couple of weeks, they're expecting results in the mirror. It doesn't work that way. You have to. It's kind of like cold clay. Imagine like there's this cold clay, your body's like cold clay. If you just sat there for 10, 20 years without doing any exercises, and if you try to mold something out of this cold clay, you put it on a spinning wheel, it's not going to make anything right away, right? You have to heat it up. As it warms up, only you can make something, different shapes out of it, right? Your body's like that too. You have to go to the gym day in, day out, for several weeks before you can actually start seeing your results in the mirror. Focus mainly on whole foods, natural. Anything that was introduced to us in the last 100 years, your body doesn't know how to digest it. So what I call my diet is a caveman diet. I always go for, like when you go into a grocery store, you don't want to go, the moment you start going through these little aisles, that's where all this processed food, right? The cookies, gummy bears, whatever, these little candies. The moment you start eating those, that's the foreign substance you're putting in your body that your body doesn't know how to digest it. But if you stick to like the periphery of the grocery store, where the milk, eggs, meat, that kind of food, your body knows how to digest fast. And these are high protein, very low carbs. So if you stick to them, it's much easier. Like, you're right. Eating carbs is that's the biggest failing point I've seen in Sri Lanka. Wherever you go, you only get very little protein in the main meal, but it's loaded with carbs. I look at carbs as an energy source. It is an energy source. Carbs, fat, and your muscle. You don't want to use muscle, so the first thing your body uses is carbs. So if you take too much carbs, like imagine you're pumping gas in your car, right? If you pump too much, it's going to spill. Same thing, you want to eat just about enough carbs to get through the day as an energy, so look at it as an energy source. Anything more than that you've consumed, your body doesn't spill it, it just stores it as fat. So when you keep doing that over time, days, weeks, months, it just adds up. And it gets that much difficult for you to get rid of that fat, because when you're in shape, it's much easier to maintain as opposed to getting in shape, because it's a transfer of energy source. Fat as opposed to muscle. Fat takes very little caloric intake to move, as opposed to muscle take a gigantic amount of caloric intake to move. What I mean by that is, imagine someone just like me, my body weight, my height, my lifestyle, everything, but that person has 20% higher body fat level. If him and I were to walk 20 miles, I will be burning more calories because I'm moving muscle fiber. I have very low body fat, as opposed to him, he's moving he's moving fat. So to move fat, your body burns very little calories, as opposed to my muscle fiber takes a gigantic amount of calories to move.
Now, Charith, you said you had a 5-plan thing. You had a 5-tip plan. So do you want to share that with our viewers?
Sure. Yes, I think this applies for anyone that is, making their goals for getting in shape. Number one thing is you want to find a dedicated partner to work out with. So for my clients, as a personal trainer, I am their partner. So you want to either sign up for personal training or find someone who's reliable, possibly someone who is of your same fitness level and is wanting to transform his or her body as well, because having a partner makes you accountable. So also, when you have a partner, when you're working with someone, you have the advantage of bouncing ideas on what's working and what's not. Also, when you are hitting those last reps, having a partner helps you push your current limitations and hit failure without getting injured. And hitting failure on your exercises, sets, it's key if you ever want to grow. Also, as you go about training, sometimes some days you'd feel like you don't want to go to the gym, right? But when you're training with someone and you have a partner, the chance of you and your partner both not feeling like going to the gym is going to be significantly reduced. Like, if anything, your partner's going to drag you, hey, no, let's go to work out. So having a partner is a physical and a mental asset. It's very important. If not, sign up for personal training, something like that. Tip number 2 would be pick a future event. This makes today valuable. So, like, let's say a wedding or a vacation, a birthday celebration, anything 2 or 3 months out, you want to pick a future goal date, right? Let's say you have a wedding in 90 days, 3 months, that is 90 days, right? And then you decide, all of a sudden you just decided today, I wanted to give up today's workout, I don't feel like going to the gym. Well, what that means is you just gave up 1/90th of your opportunity to make that dream become a reality, right? You can't just blow off today's obligations into tomorrow, because now that your time left is getting shorter and shorter, so you are going to make it happen. So picking a future date is very important when you're starting off. Number 3 would be tracking your results. You have to, you want to take a picture every day, once a week, and on the back you would write down your weight, measurements. You can even start a journal. Your current stats. Okay, today I can do 6 push-ups, 2 dips, and I'm feeling like this today after the workout. Whatever it is, just keep a journal with you. Because as you go about training, there's going to be days where you feel like, man, is this even working? Like, and you just start doubting your efforts and feel like quitting. But you can always look back on your journal and see, oh, shit, I was like this on day 1, and today I can do this many push-ups. So there is some tangible records, right? It's kind of like that metaphor, when you go too deep in the forest, you can't see the trees. Another example would be let's say you have a puppy that you see every day, you don't notice it's growing until a friend comes over and makes a comment about how the puppy is, it's growing so fast, right? It's like that, your body, when you see yourself every day in the mirror, you don't see those small changes. So having a journal, tracking your records is very important. Number 4 would be taking baby steps. My golden equation for getting in shape and getting your ideal body or whatever your fitness goal is your lifting program, your cardio, your diet and nutrition, and rest. Those 4 factors weigh the same amount of importance. If you cut short on any one of them, you're not going to get your ideal body, period. So, and what happens is a lot of people, when they're all motivated and pumped up to get in shape in the new year, mostly the New Year resolutions, resolutionists, they would say, okay, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and go run for a mile, and I'm gonna go to the gym and work out an hour and a half, and I'm gonna eat nothing but brown rice and chicken, and I'm gonna get 8 hours of sleep. And by the way, you used to eat pizza, you never ran, you never been to a gym, and you barely got any sleep. You're usually up till 3 o'clock getting hammered. If you try to do all that change at once in a day, it's not going to work. So you have to take, you have to change one at a time, and when you get good handle on that, you kind of add another one onto the plate. So taking baby steps is very important. So it's an equation of lifting, cardio, nutrition, and rest. All 4 of them is very important, with the same amount of importance to get your ideal body, but you want to change one at a time. As you get comfortable, you want to add another onto the plate. 5 is cutting the fat out of your life. So what I mean by fat is not the fat in your stomach, but let's say you have anyone that's negative, the people that you surround yourself with who are not adding value to where you want to go in life, they're only going to delay your journey, right? So if you're constantly surrounded by people who don't appreciate fitness, who don't value your fitness goals, right? The more you hang out with them, the longer you hang out with them, the longer it's going to take you to get to where you want to go, because these people are going to distract you constantly, right? So what I mean by cutting the fat out of your life is taking the negative energy out of your life. It might be difficult for a couple of weeks, but you'll find a new sense of life. Because if you want to go somewhere, so instead of what you want to do is surround yourself with people who are going the same direction. For instance, my Facebook fan page, I always constantly post fitness and nutritional related posts on a daily basis. So if you're always interact with people, like-minded people, you get motivated, you don't feel alone. Get rid of all those negative people that don't add value to where you want to go. That's number 5. So those are the 5 tips.
There you go, Charith Madawela's top 5 tips for getting in shape. So when you make your New Year's resolutions next year, keep that in mind.
Exercise is 99% of it is mental. Only 1% of it is physical.
All right, so there we go. That's what we are looking at. And it's time for us to thank Charith Madawela for all that information. I think we have given enough and more, loads and loads of information with regards to fitness. Thanks a lot for being with us, Charith. It was a pleasure talking to you. And I think that would have definitely benefited all our viewers watching Rise and Shine.